Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally back outside even though I'm chasing rainstorms. But today I wanted to talk to you about should you buy a condo in the Tampa, Florida market? And we're going to talk about the pros and cons as well. So let's get after it. As a lot of you know, during COVID and just after we started really getting into COVID, the Tampa housing market really boomed, right? And especially the condo market. And that's because condos were so cheap. And so everybody gobbled them up. And then what you started to see is those condo prices started to inflate as well as the HOAs. And now we've sort of hit a baseline. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the reasons why I think that happened, but I wanted to come on here and talk to you about why I think that buying a condo, there are some pros and there are some cons that you still have to consider if you are thinking about moving to a condo. And the first thing I always ask my clients when they talk about a condo, is it based on some sort of stage of life? Or are you looking to get out of having to maintain a single family home? Are you an empty nester? Are you single? Are you looking for an investment property for down the road you could rent and then you could sell, or you could use that equity to buy a home? There's so many things you can do when you're buying a condo, right? So we're out here in my condo community. This is the condo next to mine. Mine is not as cute, not gonna lie. But we share the tennis court here. And we also have a dog park over here that we share as well. And I'm right on a canal, and I'm gonna show you guys that here in a minute as well. I am a condo owner. I love being a condo owner, and some of the pros to owning a condo are the reasons why I own a condo. So let's dive into the pros and cons. Pro number one, I think low maintenance. Low maintenance is probably the number one pro in my book, because as you can maybe hear, there's lawn service going on, sprinkler systems going on. There's always people maintaining the exterior of the condo, which is not your responsibility. Now your HOAs come into play for that, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Sometimes, and in my case it does, it covers the water and the trash bill, which can also be very helpful. They roll that into your HOAs as well. And in some cases, you might even get some Wi-Fi. Now, we're gonna talk about amenities in a minute, so I don't wanna jump ahead of myself, but I think the biggest draw to condo living is the low maintenance home ownership. All right, the next pro in my book are the amenities, as I was trying to jump to. So like I mentioned, in my condo community, we do have tennis courts. Now we have to share those with the adjacent community, the one right behind me. We also have 5 pools though, but we don't have a gym. So sometimes you're going to be able to have things like a dog park like we have right here and that sort of thing. But for the most part, you're going to have, especially in Florida, you're gonna probably have a tennis court, you're probably gonna have a pool, and you might get some extra features. But again, you're gonna pay for that with your HOA. Another feature that my community has, and if you're looking for waterfront property, is my community also provides parking for your boat trailer, which comes in handy when you live on a canal. So sometimes you get really interesting features like that in certain condo communities. All right, let's move on to the next pro. Location, location, location. Now, I happen to live in Bayport Colonies, which is right near Town and Country. We have a canal that is off of the bay, and I'm gonna show it to you here in a minute. And so I have the canal right out my patio door, and I can stare at it all day long, and it gives me so much peace and zen. So if you're like me and you wanna live near the water, but most of the waterfront properties are in the $1 million range, you can't afford that, but you want that lifestyle, a condo meets that criteria. Also, if you want to live in the downtown area, downtown St. Pete, downtown Tampa, sometimes living in a condo will provide all of that as well. So if you're like me and you like living near the water or the beaches, but you don't want to pay the hefty price for a home in that area or the insurance costs to keep it maintained, then a condo is a great option, and we have some really wonderful areas that you need to explore. But if you're also looking for just a condo in general, we have great condos in some amazing communities as well. So again, if you need help with that, don't forget I'm a licensed real estate agent and I can help you with, understanding condos and answering all those questions. So let's keep moving. Let's find a new location because I'm dying of heat. Let's keep it moving. Okay, so I moved locations because I wanted to show you very specifically what I'm talking about when it comes to insurance and condo communities. Now, your HOAs are going to cover the exterior costs of your insurance, the maintenance of the exterior of the complex, and all those amenities that I spoke about. And so I'm back here. This is my canal back here, and we just had a tropical storm, so we've had water up to the seawall. HOA covers the seawall as well. So even though, and I'm going to talk about price and cost and all that here in a minute because it's also part of my cons, but it's also a pro because as far as flood insurance goes and seawall maintenance, my HOA covers that. Now, I split that cost with all the other owners. That's why we can get that premium at a lower cost. So it is an advantage, like I'm saying, because here we are, and I'm going to show you, over here is our boat slip. So if you're a boat owner and you think, oh, but I can't, have a boat in a condo. Yeah, you can. Everybody on this canal has a boat, and we pop it through that sling over there and we go out into Tampa Bay waters. So it is a benefit. So again, if you're looking to lower your home ownership costs, but you don't really want to sacrifice much of your lifestyle if you are a boater, again, I'm always focused on the water because it's my favorite, guys. So those kinds of areas are gonna, cost you a pretty penny. But again, your HOA fees are going to cover your insurance costs. So just to recap, if you're looking at areas and flood insurance scares you a little bit, but you really want to be close to those areas, don't let it, because your premium is going to be a lot lower when you're looking at splitting that with the entire association. And we're going to talk about assessments in a little bit. It's part of my cons, so be prepared. All right, let me show you around a little bit. So another pro is, are you in the stage of life where maybe you're looking to downsize a bit? That to me is another reason why a condo is perfect, because I have a garage, so I didn't have to sacrifice having a garage. The only thing I sacrificed was having a backyard. So in some cases you can get lucky and get a backyard. That's what I'm saying. We are not cookie cutter here in Florida. You're gonna get a little bit of everything. So I was just having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine, and she had some damage to her roof from our last big tropical storm. And she was like, hey girl, we're gonna start looking at for condos, because she's about to be an empty nester. And she's like, I don't wanna have to take care of a pool. I don't wanna have to take care of this roof. I don't wanna have to take care of all this stuff. I'd rather pay an HOA to do it. And that's why a lot of people are considering condos. And if that lines up with your needs, that's something that we can talk about. So we've moved to a little quieter little community right across my canal. And I wanted to come over here because I wanted to show you, first off, you've got all these beautiful waterfront homes across the canal. And then you've got these nice condos over here, right? And most of the condos in my area are gonna have boat slips. Not all of them, but some of them you can rent. I actually own 2 boat slips in my area, but I wanted to talk about the diversity in price ranges for condos, because there's this misconception that all condos are inexpensive. Here's the pro. Condos, yes, can be less expensive than most single family homes. So if that helps you from a budgetary standpoint, great, but not all. So my condo community, we're gonna get into appreciation in a minute. My condo community happens to be extremely affordable, but our HOAs are a little higher. So again, I'm getting ahead of myself here because I've got some cons to talk to you about, and they have to do with price and they have to do with HOA. But just because you see varying degrees of condos doesn't mean they're all priced the same. And again, you're gonna pay a little heftier ticket to see this view every day, or the beach, or the downtown area, especially along the Riverwalk in downtown Tampa, or to have those beautiful bay views in downtown St. Pete. So let's continue on here. I'm gonna jump now to the cons because, I got a few. I got some things I'm gonna complain about. All right, so let's keep looking around. I wanna keep showing you some various types of condos that might appeal, because if you've been looking in the Tampa market at all, you know that there is nothing that's necessarily brand new around this kind of view. So let's keep moving. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about the cons, because I got a few myself. Being a condo owner, one of my biggest pet peeves is the HOA association in general. They are not regulated, and they can increase your monthly premium every year at any rate that they want. So the condo association clearly takes care of the roof And any exterior items that have to do with the condo community, again, maintaining pools, seawalls, that sort of thing, you know, even these bodies of water. I actually have a bunch of ducks in my community and they help, you know, maintain and make sure that they are doing okay. And we also have to get rid of a bunch of them every so often. But the problem is that when you are having an unregulated association, you know, they can raise your monthly premiums whenever they want. And so my association a year ago raised ours 17%. I can't tell you what they've done differently. That's my issue. So that's a big con. When we're working together and we're putting a deal together, we're gonna look at those condo docs. You're gonna wanna look at their financials. We're gonna look and see if there are any upcoming assessments that you have to take into consideration, because that's gonna change that monthly payment that you're gonna have. So my condo fees, when I first bought my condo 7 years ago, were very normal. Now they've almost doubled. So you have to factor in that they could increase those association dues at any point. So just because you're buying a condo and the association dues are maybe $350, those could go up the next year and the next year and the next year. Mine have done a steady increase about 2% up until that year that it was 17%. So you gotta watch out for that. The next thing that people also just assume is that every condo in Tampa has no lease restrictions. Not so. Especially after COVID and everybody started to rent properties here and come and buy the condos up and turn them into Airbnbs, they've gotten a lot more restrictive. So you have to check with the association to find out what their rules are when it comes to leasing, whether you can do short-term or what we call seasonal, which is usually about 3 months, or if you have to own the property for a year before you can rent it out. There's a lot of different ways that associations will restrict your ability to lease. So you need to know that if you're looking at condos for investment purposes. Not to mention, some of the restrictions have to do with parking. You know, things like you can't park an RV in front of your condo. You can't park your boat in front of the condo. Those things seem to make sense to me. So you really have to understand, like, are you taking a bunch of toys with you from a home to a condo? You might have to make other arrangements. But like I mentioned, in this community that I am in right now, they have their own parking for their RVs and for their boat trailers. So restrictions, got to keep that in the forefront of your mind when you're purchasing. I wanted to also discuss appreciation, because you've got to keep in mind that condos do not appreciate at the rate that a single family home does. But in my situation, because I bought my condo in 2018 and I bought it, I'll be very honest with you guys, I bought it for $115,000. This is public record anyway, so you can look it up. But it has doubled in appreciation. Now that, I believe, is due to COVID. And it's also because our housing prices and our housing market has increased with the demand anyway. But I've noticed, because I keep track of it, it's leveled out. If you're looking to buy a condo to gain a little equity so that you could buy something else or whatever, it's gonna take a little bit longer than it would in a single family home. Con number 4, you don't get to choose your neighbors and they are quite close to you. So the one thing I actually like about my community is that it's kind of rowdy. My pool during the summertime gets a little crazy and people are blaring their music. It can feel a little bit like Cancun sometimes. Now, if that's not your jam, you have to keep that in mind when you are looking for condos. Like this community that I'm in, it's pretty quiet. Now, we're in the middle of the day, kids are getting out of school, you're gonna start seeing a lot more traffic happening, but for the most part, this doesn't sound like an area or a community that's gonna get too rowdy. I'm on the water, sound bounces off of the water. So anyway, I've never really met my next door neighbor, yet I know all of the neighbors around me. It's just a matter of if that's important to you or not, but you have to consider noise. How noisy is your neighbor? You're sharing walls. My condo is brick on brick, so I never hear my neighbors. I got lucky, but you can be in a condo where it's brick and then it's wood frame, and that, again, your bedrooms might echo a little bit. So, or your TV in your living room, or if you've got somebody below you and you're walking on hardwood, that can be annoying. Okay, and my last con is this. When you're thinking about purchasing a condo, you've really got to do the math, okay? You've got to take into consideration, like I said, your insurance, not only your interior insurance, because you do need interior insurance, but you don't have to worry about the exterior, but you're gonna have to know very well about that HOA and if they plan on doing any assessments, it's going to raise your monthly rate over the course of a year or two. You know, sometimes they can tell you, hey, we just put new roofs on, so you know, okay, I'm good for about 10 years. Or we just painted the exterior, so you know you're gonna be good for a couple of years. Are they trying to resod the grass? You know, there's all these big things that they're trying to plan for. So a lot of times they will have that in the budget, and you can ask to see their budget. Especially, you know, I just put some people in a condo at the beginning of the year, and we went line by line on their budget of what is coming so that we could figure out, are they gonna have an assessment of anything major anytime soon? So again, you've got to be very cognizant of that HOA fee. What does it cover? Are there any assessments? And just because it's a condo does not mean it's going to be a cheaper option for you. You could still have a $500,000 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot condo with no yard, maybe a garage, but you don't have that exterior cost of the maintenance of the exterior like the roof. Now you are responsible for your HVAC, so don't forget that. But if you have any sort of major thing that's from the exterior, you're not going to have to worry about it. And again, when it comes to flood, they're going to cover that flood insurance. They're going to cover all the exterior insurance. So hope that helps. But I do think condos are really great if you're looking to downsize. Me personally, my condo is a 2.5, and it's about 1,260 square feet, and it's the perfect size for me. Add another person, it gets a little tight. So you have to decide what is the most important thing to you. And that usually helps determine whether a condo is the right option for you. But if you want to discuss that further, you know, you can reach out to me and I can help answer any questions you may have about buying a condo in the Tampa St. Pete market. Well, I hope this video was helpful to you. And again, comment below if you have anything to add or if you have any questions. And again, I would love to help you out if you're looking to buy a condo in the Tampa St. Pete area. And again, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.